I'm Roniel.
I'm DaRon.
Is Biden really like wanting to quit being a president, or is he trying to run again? It looked like he was trying to run. It's like they're now saying that he's quitting.
Yeah. So Biden, Biden and Trump are not as different as a lot of the ideologues would like to think.
Oh yeah, you gotta break this down.
All right, so let's actually look at it. If we look, you'll see that both are honestly relatively narcissist. So everyone remembers Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? And you have all these people who just attacked Trump for going through and putting someone else in the Supreme Court when she died. And they said, no. You have to keep it balanced. A liberal justice died, therefore you need to put another liberal justice in. That's that in and of itself is silly, but another matter altogether. When you look at it, what happened wasn't Trump's fault. She could have and should have resigned knowing she had cancer under Obama, but she said, I'm the only one who can do this thing. I'm the only one who can ensure the sanctity of women's rights. So she then dies. Someone else replaces her. And what Ginsburg would have said were women's rights just gone, evaporate, right? That's narcissism. Trump and Biden are the same stock. They're narcissistic. Both of them said, I'm the only one who can do this. And let's be honest, none of the three of them are the only ones who can do anything. And I don't care if you love Trump or you hate Trump. Love Biden or hate Biden. Love Ginsburg, hate Ginsburg. They're not the only ones who can do that work. It's just not how this works.
So, who actually loves Biden? I mean, there's a lot of people that love Trump, but who actually loves Biden? I don't know too many people that do. I think people just kind of voted for Biden because they didn't have any other choice and they didn't want to see Trump in there.
He's milquetoast. I don't know who loves him.
I mean, can he barely even remember anything he's saying?
That's so cruel.
You know, I don't know. Like it's just crazy. I remember seeing him on TV saying something and he forgets in midline what he said and then tried to remember. And I'm like, what is going on? Is he having Alzheimer's? And we have a president that has Alzheimer's now?
But we've already had that, right? Ronald Reagan had dementia.
Yep. And that's crazy. But like I say, it's insane because I mean, I don't think again, you said the Democrats did not want him to run again.
Yeah.
I don't think he should run again. I did not think his presidency was useful. I mean, there never really are. People don't know the president doesn't really have much of any power or say part of the executive branch, but doesn't really have any say so because it seems like Congress has more of the say so, the House and everything. And
right.
They have representatives have everything to say. It's why we see what we see now with the abortion stuff and everything else, which everybody's so furious about the abortion thing. I hate to go into that because that is a very touchy subject. But in my thought is I still feel like men should not be able to tell a woman what they should do with their body. It's like that. We can't tell. They can't. You didn't say men circumcise yourself. Do all of this. Like if it was up to the point where a man had to do such and such and such, they would lose their shit. If that was the case, and I don't think that's the fair judgment. I think that things should be fair, and I don't think the judge. I mean, we can go for days about that, but yeah. I don't think the laws are justified, which is why people should start taking voting the Congress people in serious. Like,
yes,
you need to take that serious. That's where all the magic happens.
Yes, you need to vote in your primaries every time. Because that's why we keep getting these terrible candidates. You know how all these nuts keep getting selected? The primaries. And then you will only have the binary choice.
Yep. And I didn't understand that at first, and nobody told me until it's crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. I think the last 2 years I've really started to understand it's not really, it's important. The president is important, but it's not as important as Congress is. I don't know what else to say for everybody else, but I urge you, get on it. Forget whoever's going to be the president right now. Get on that, because this is a problem.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of idiots in Congress, and
Yes.
I mean idiots.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
No, please.
And that's why we're going through some of the things we're going through, because of a bunch of idiots that don't really it's like they're not living in reality. You know, they don't go through probably the same things we go through.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them may have a lot of money, so they are good, but people that's in poverty and going through a lot of different struggles, they're not seeing that. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They want to please their political subjects or their pockets or the people that they want to keep happy. You know, the people behind the scenes is getting all the money.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep them happy, so they're gonna do whatever they need to do to stay in their position. But my thing is that's where it's important. So if it's nothing important to you guys, guys need to start paying attention to your primaries and start going out and voting for the right people. Otherwise, we're never going to get out of this shithole we're in.
That's exactly right. And they want to disenfranchise voters as much as possible. They being your millionaires, your billionaires, Congress itself, the president, they don't want you voting. The reason why they don't want you voting is because the more people who vote, the more unpredictable it becomes for them, the more likely that they are to lose, and the more work and money they have to put into winning.
Yeah. So get on that shit, because it's serious. And like they say we're not, and I don't know what you think about DaRon, but I feel like I'm already in a recession.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care what anybody says. I know they'll say, "Oh, we're not in a recession." I guess they don't want people to freak out, but you remember how the last recession was, right? So I mean, it's just signs to me just saying, hey, we're already there. Maybe we're not mid in there, but we definitely there. Like we heading towards the midpoint. So I mean, I don't know what people are talking about, and it's just keep getting worse, especially with the pandemic. And I don't think back then in 2008 when we had that recession that it was actually a pandemic. So
right,
you know, but now we're in a pandemic. We got monkeypox. We got all type of mutated strands of COVID. I mean, you might as well call it the X-Men. Like it's every time you turn around, it's mutating. So, you know, we got all these different strands of this. What's next? What's the next? The bird pox, you know, like we already had chicken pox. So like what else? They're going to have a mutated strand of that. I mean, it's just getting out of control. You know, and America has no control. The world doesn't have any control over none of it. So, you know, what are we going to do? And I guarantee you next year there will be another thing that we have to worry about.
Yes. We're in a global economy, a global trading economy. Every single year, you're going to have new things. We're going to constantly have economic threats. We're going to have environmental threats. We're going to have health threats. It's just, unfortunately, that is the world that we live in today. And I don't know that there ever was a time where there wasn't. I mean, we had the Spanish flu back in 1917, 1918. I mean, and even during Roman times, they had poxes of various kinds go through and cause problems. They actually think that's largely responsible. That, and at the same time, we had a mini ice age. They believe that is largely responsible for the collapse of the Roman Empire.
Man, you know, and I know it's going to always be something, but I felt like at some point we had control of things at some point, or maybe we thought we had control. The people, the world thought they did, and they didn't really. But it's like now it's just like, wow, I feel like we're in Resident Evil without it being zombies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like when is it going to get that bad? And you never know. But it's terrible. And I'm like, you know, with everything that's going on, it's kind of like you get scared. There's so many things going on. Every time I turn around, there's stuff going on in the news. People are killing each other, you know, doing crazy stuff, school shootings. Now they're talking about banning, you know, gas cars. And my thing on this whole, and I want your opinion on this, the whole gasoline, the gas cars. They want everything's going electric, right? Okay, great. We're going electric. We're doing all this good stuff, and I don't see that getting any better. They're going to control the money and how you spend on the electricity or whatever you put in your car, right? How you charge the car. But how are they going to get people to buy an electric car when they can't even afford an electric car, let alone afford the gas car that they have. Right. So what are we going to do? Tell you to trade it in, and now if you don't have a note, you got to get a note. Like, how is that going to work? Because that seems like a disaster waiting to happen. Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
You know?
And then to add to exactly what you're talking about, the power grid in many places simply won't support it.
So now they have to build a new power grid infrastructure too.
Yeah.
Like, how long is that going to take to do something at that capacity? How long would that take for us to even get there? Which is probably why they're pushing down the road. But California's already started banning.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's other places that started banning too. But I mean, what the hell? Like, people like, I have my friends and people, they're saying like they don't even know if they'll be able to afford to do it because they've already paid off their car finally. And you're talking about what are they going to do with it?
Right.
They're going to go get an electric car, and then most of these electric cars are like $100,000.
They're very expensive.
No more. Yeah, and you're like, come on. Now, I think the lowest one I've seen so far is a Tesla, which is the $43,000 one. That's the base one, the base model.
And tied to that, not only is it the base model of a very weak car, but it has no range, and it's so back ordered you're not getting it for many years from now.
Yeah, I heard they got a lot. So all they cars, like it's insane. Like when I went to California, that's all you seen was Teslas. It's like I was like, why? What is so good about this car that everybody got? Man, I rarely seen a regular car.
Yeah.
Even when I was working at the company I had to do an assessment for, they had a whole line of Tesla cars. Everybody's getting in. I'm like, this just looks like it came out of a movie. But I feel like, again, we're putting ourselves in more issue, like having more trouble than we need to be. Like we're putting ourselves in more issues. Like we're in a state of a crisis. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out how they're going to actually make this work.
Yeah.
With the education crisis, the car and gasoline, whatever the hell you in crisis, the presidential crisis with Trump and all that shit going on, and Biden, and I mean, who's going to be the next idiot president that we get?
Not Kamala Harris, for Pete's sake.
Oh man, please!
Nobody likes her.
No, I don't even like her. Oh, we're gonna put a black person in there so we can relate. No, that she did not relate to shit.
Yeah.
What's? Oh man,
that's like saying Obama. Did you relate to Obama?
No. I really didn't relate to him. I mean, Obama was cool, but I still didn't even see him as black.
Yeah.
I was just like, most people,
yeah.
They're like, oh, we have a black president. I'm like, okay. He was cool, but didn't really relate to him. So, but I didn't really relate. I just think I was happy that, he was in there, I guess. But I didn't really wasn't relatable to him. But I definitely ain't relatable to, Kamala Harris, however the hell you say. What did Trump call her?
Kamala.
He never get her name. Kamala.
Yeah,
Kamala.
He always called her Kamala, and I'm like, he's talking about Camelot.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, what is this? Back in the medieval times? Yeah. So no, it's crazy, man. Like, come on, guys. We got to get this stuff together. And I think if we as not only just a community, but just as a country and like as a whole, we could probably, really, really, if we stick together, we can make some changes. But because everybody's they're fighting each other.
Yes.
Like we can't come together. That's why I say, and most people might hate this, the gay community is the strongest community right now because they literally stick together for their people. No matter how much they may hate this person, that person, this, whatever they are, they stick together and they get shit done. Here, black community, they fighting each other. I can't speak for the Latinos. I don't know if they're fighting each other, but I'm sure there's a lot of communities fighting each other.
Yeah.
And instead of coming together and say, hey, we all got a common problem and we really need to get this stuff fixed. If you guys feel that there's anything that you think about this, what do you guys think about this? Leave it down in the comment section. you know, so we can discuss more about it. If you like this episode and want to hear more from us about it, please let us know. I'm Roniel.
I'm DaRon.
And to the next time.
Have fun.